Off if he can score a try, and brilliant hands, and there go England, and Freeman has his first test match try. Andre Pollard of South Africa demonstrated he has ice in his veins, and now Tommy Ramos.
Round 2, and possibly going to be the game of the round. England versus France at Twickenham. I mean, does it get any bigger than that? I'm not too sure. Especially not in the Northern Hemisphere. I mean, it is such a rivalry, such a big game, with a sold-out crowd at hand as well. The English really needing a win. I mean, one win out of the last 9 test matches, right? They need to get a win. Borthwick, it's getting tighter and tighter around the neck. He needs a win to maybe just kind of push him off of his back and give him a bit of breathing room. Have the English been playing pretty good rugby? They have been playing a little bit better, expansive rugby in the last couple of years, but they just not getting the results. It doesn't count at the end of the day if you just lose by 3 to 5 points. Maybe a few years ago, they were on the other end of this. Now they're on the other end, and the receiving end. And we will see if the same thing happens again in this game against the French. And I mean, the French are popping off at the moment. They are looking really, really good. They were my pick before the Six Nations started to be the champions of the Six Nations. So in a way, I do hope they win, but at the end of the day, I'm happy for whoever to win, as long as it's a good game of rugby. That is all you can ask for. Now, before we get into this, hit that like button if you do enjoy this video today, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to support the channel, if you want to keep up with rugby news, if you want to keep up with rugby all over the world, hit that subscribe button. And if you do just want to talk about rugby, comment down below. We're all here for the same reason, because we love the game of rugby. You might have played for 40 years. You might have only just started watching. There's no judgment in these comments. So comment down below. Let me know what you think. Who do you think will win? Let me know below, and we can compare our predictions once the game is done. Now let's get into the lineups right underneath my ugly head. Let me actually make that smaller because I'm sick of looking at it. Now we got Ellis Genge starting in at number 1. We got Jean-Baptiste Gros, for the French. You got Luke Cowan-Dickey back in at hooker again. Piato Malvaca, who has just been brutal for the French team. One of the best hookers in the world at the minute. You got Will Stewart back in at number 3. Uni Antonio in at number 3. So exact same lineups in the front row as last week. Then you got Mario Toge back as Capitano, and George Martin in the second row. Alexandre Ruma and Emmanuel Miafu, who has just been a godsend for the French. And George Martin, I mean, he's going to bring that physicality, and that's what they need from him. And you could see in that last game too, the English pack, they did put some big shots on. They actually held the Irish pack intact for a long time, but it's just those tackling on the outside which just kind of let them down. Then you got, starting in the back row, you got Tom Curry and Ben Earl in at number 7. So there we go. There's the first change. Big change as well. Ben Earl playing back on the flank with Tom Willis in at number 8 for the English. And then you got Francois Cros in at number 6. You got Paul Bourdain at number 7. And Gregory Aldrit, the absolute warrior. He's so consistent. Got a player of the match last week and a try and a meat pie to be able to take that home. So good on him. Hopefully he can, emulate what he did last week. Then you got Alex Mitchell back in at number 9. I think he would have got some tackling practice after last week. I mean, he missed that tackle on James Lowe, which he set up to try for Gibson Park. He also, he wasn't the initial tackler. I mean, Marcus Smith was the initial tackler on Bundy Aki, but then Alex Mitchell still couldn't get him out. So a brilliant effort by Aki, but obviously that defense, that tackle needs to be made. If DuPont's coming across there, he's making that tackle 9 out of 10 times. And then obviously starting at number 9, El Capitano as well for the French, Antoine Dupont. Then you got Finn Smith in at number 10. He has been given the keys for this game. Let's see if he can pull it off. Then you got Matthew Jalibert, I'm not sitting on the bench guy himself. I really did think they're going to bring Tomas Ramos into number 10 again, as they did against the All Blacks. But obviously, Jalibert has been playing so good. for Bordeaux. So he really does deserve this opportunity. And I think that maybe they put their little differences aside for the bigger cause, which is for the French rugby national team. And I think that's the way it should be. You should put your country first and then, sort out your little qualms outside of that as well. And I'm happy to see this. Ollie Slideholm, who I really rate as a player. I really, really think he deserves this opportunity. I think he's going to cause havoc for Penot on the right side there, and for the left side for the English. Then we got Louis Biarré for the French on the left wing as well. So 2 absolute live wires. You got Henry Slade in at number 12, Ollie Lawrence at number 13, so unchanged in the centres. You got Yoram Moefana and Pierre-Louis Barassi in at number 13. You got Tommy Freeman on the right wing again for the English, scoring a meat pie as well, scoring a try against the Irish to close off the game to get him that bonus point within the 7. And you got Damien Penaud coming in. One of the best wingers in the world. It's been a while since he put on that French jersey, but he is back and he's ready to score some tries, I think. I think he is ready. He's licking his lips. He's ready to go for Twickenham, and it's good to see him back. Here's a big call. All right, this is where I think this is a bit of a crunching decision. This can really work out really well, or it can absolutely destroy the English's game plan here, and that is Marcus Smith in at number 15. Do I think he's a 15? No, I don't think he's a 15. I think, they can try and hide him on defense as much as they want, but what the good teams do, the teams, who are the top 5 in the world sort of thing, they find your weak point in your armor and they exploit it. So they are going to exploit Marcus Smith at the back. He is not good under the high ball. His defense is not good. They're going to attack it. They're going to put high balls up to Marcus Smith wherever he is. They're going to solidify him. They're going to put him away from all his players. They're going to catch him and they're going to drive him back. They're going to take him out of the game plan. And I don't see him getting much space, unfortunately, to be able to doing what he does best. So we'll see how that works out. I think it is not a good decision, in my opinion, but, Borthwick has tried everything, so he might as well try it. I mean, it's his choice. It's his job on the line. So I hope for his job that it works out. But like I said, I can't see it happening, unfortunately. Then you got Tomas Ramos in at 15. Ever reliable, one of the best I think the best goal kicker at the moment in the world, Tomas Ramos. Then you got on the bench, you got Jamie George back in, the leader, coming back in, trying to bring some solidity, a bit of leadership. Maybe if they're behind late, maybe he's going to be the one who changes that, because we know the English, 55, 60 minutes in the game, they're still in the game, and then they kind of just drop off for 10, 20 minutes and just really loses in the game. Then you got Finn Baxter, Joel Hayes, Ollie Chesham, Chandler Cunningham South, Ben Curry, Harry Randall, and Elliot Daly on the bench. So they're going with a good old 6-2 split. Where is all the haters for this, extra forwards on the bench? Come on. I think it's a good idea. I think they know they're going to have to play physical against the French team. And they've done the right thing, in my opinion. Then you got on the bench Julian Marchand, you got Cyril Bay, you got George-Henri Colombe, you got Hugo Aradu, Mikhail Guillard, you got Oscar Jegu, you got Nolan Legarec, who, since when he came on, for Legarec, when he came on for DuPont in the last game after about 49 minutes, he was a live wire, man. His defense was great. He was putting pressure on that. Like I've pointed it out, the number 9s seem like they have a free reign. I think my video got taken down for the review of the game because I showed the highlights of the game and there was a copyright strike, so my video was taken down. But as I pointed out, the French, what their game plan is, I can see it with DuPont, I can see it with Lagarec when he came on, is whenever the other teams are going wide, the number 9s is that extra defender. Because as we know, the number 9 usually defends behind the ruck, and they're kind of just like a follow around. They're kind of like a backstop, right? So in case someone makes a quick break, they're there to shut it down, or they're just the extra defender if there's a break on the wing. But as we've seen in their game plan, they have a free roam to attack wherever they want. So I've noticed DuPont against the Welsh, he's rushing out of line and hitting that back door and putting pressure on and making that tackle behind the gay line and trying to win that ball back. Same thing with Lagarak. Same thing. He kept jumping out of line, attacking that back runner. So watch for them to come around the back and shut down a lot of the English attack. And the only way for the English to beat that is obviously a ball over the top, where you got to hit that front door. But that's where the forwards from the French are covering the front door. The 9 is covering the back door because they're the free roamer. And then you still have the outside backs who cover their opposite numbers. So it's a really good defensive plan. I mean, there's a reason why the French defensive coach, gives every single international match, he gives an award out, a bottle of Dom Perignon, which is a champagne, obviously, and not a cheap one at that. And every time he picks a defensive player of the game, and he gives them a bottle of champagne. And I think that's a great kind of incentive, right? It just kind of adds to the players' will, because they want to get that bottle of Dom Perignon and celebrate with their teammates. And I think it shows. Their defense has been some of the best in the world lately, and we'll see in this game. So keep an eye out for that number 9 if you do listen to this, and you will see the number 9 popping out and trying to shut down that attacking play. So watch for that again in this game. Emilien Gaileton, who's just been deadly as well. He does deserve a spot, to be honest. So like I said, I thought Ramos was going to start at 10, and they were going to bring the Stade France fullback back in, but that's not the way they went. So I think it's just going to be a great game, in my honest opinion. It's going to be closer than what some people project. I know some people have said the French are going to kind of get owned. I don't think they will. As you can see with the weather for Saturday, there's going to be cloudy and maybe clearing up around about the time of game time, which is that 5 or 6 o'clock at night. So I think hopefully with 21% of rain, so hopefully it stays away. Hopefully there's no rain. We can cross our fingers and hope. But as you can see, people have voted. 71% think France win, 28% England. It's being played obviously at Twickenham. You can see the last 5 times the teams have met. The French have won 3 and the English have won 2, with an average of 30 points to 20 in the French favour. You can see here, last 5 results for the English. 27-22 last week against the Irish. 59-14 win against the Japanese. Brave Blossoms losing 29-20 to the Box. 42-37 loss to the Wallabies at Twickenham with a injury time try. Then you got All Blacks just beating the English. And English were up, I think it was 22-14 with 10 minutes to go. And they ended up losing the game, which was crazy. And then you got the French, total opposites really. 43-0 win against Wales. 37-23 against Argentina. 30-29 against the All Blacks, which luckily I called that actually by a 1-point win. Then you got the French 52-12 over the Brave Blossoms and losing to Argentina with their B team, we might say. 33-25 over in Argentina. But you can see a 4-win streak. And you can see the last 5 matches here between the French and English. A 33-31 win right at the death. 33-31 late winner for the French. 53-10 win for the French last time they played at Twickenham. 25-13 to the French. So a 3-game win streak for the French over the English. And then all the way back in 2021, the English won 23-20 and 22-19 back in 2020. So, if you're looking at statistics, you're looking at the way things are going, you're backing the French probably to win big. But I think it being a game in Twickenham, they need a win. They need a win for their coach. So this is where it's going to show the English are an emotional team. So if they get a couple calls, couple holding on penalties, the crowd will be into it. They'll be into it. So I can see the English, putting up a pretty damn good fight, but I just see them falling short. I think the French will win, and I think the French win it, not by a lot. It'll be a tight game, I think 1-12. But I do think the French win by about 6 through to 8 points. I think 6 to 8 points. I'll hit it in the middle. I'll say the French win by 7. And I think the French win 27 points to 20 against the English. 27-20 is my final prediction. Let me know what your prediction is down below. Like I said, if you've liked the video, please hit that like button below. Subscribe as well if you want to see future content. Now, I'll point out a couple of players who I think will have a great game. I think Ben Earl is going to have a massive game after being substituted early last week. Being back in the flank spot, I think he's going to have a big, big game. I think Emmanuel Meafu, he's not going to play a lot of minutes, but I think he's going to be brilliant. Same with Malvaka. I think they're going to run big holes down the middle and open it up for the backs later on in the game. Obviously, Dupont is going to have a good game. The only way the English, it's hard to find a way to shut him down, to put him off his game. The only way is to put contact on him. I really think that's the only way you can do, is by making him think you're there quicker than you are. But yeah, and then I do believe Mathieu Jalibert, I think he's going to have a great game for the French. I think coming back into the team, putting it all behind them, I think he's going to slot in pretty easily. And I can see him having a very, very good game, as he does for Bordeaux week in, week out. And then for the English, man, I really think Ollie Slideholm is going to have a good game. I think he'll cross the line. One of the two wingers will cross for the English. I think Marcus Smith is going to get found out at the back. So I can't see him having a big game. But I think Ben Earl, Ollie Slideholm, and I think Ollie Lawrence also for the 13 will also have a solid game for them as well. But I think I can see it being same thing again. I think it'll be very tight at the start. I think the English could even take the lead into halftime. I can see it happening. Maybe something like 13 points to 10, round about there. But then that second half, I think the French are going to kind of find them out. Just as the English have been bad in the second half lately, I think the French run away from it. Same as against the Irish. I think the French pull away about 23 points to, let's say, 13, something like that. And then I think the English score a couple points late to bring it back within that 7, and they get another bonus point, which is not going to help them much, because as soon as you lose 2 games, it mostly means you're pretty much out of the contest for the championship. But I'll end it on that. I think the French win by 7. Let me know what you think below. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know who you think wins in the comments. Thank you for watching.